So here's something that's been sitting in the closet for far too long, and today it's time to open it. Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be opening this Bewinner Open Frame Chassis. It's a Mini ITX Test Bench that I got a few months back, but I never had a chance to actually open it and sort of put it all together and see what it looks like and how it works. But I believe today is a good time to open it because realistically, I know the last few videos you guys have seen me build this computer, and while I do like the console style appearance of the Note 202, it has some thermal limitations. So back around August, I was actually looking for an ITX test bench. Since I am in Switzerland, the cheapest sort of ITX test bench I could find would be around 70 francs or so. They were pretty expensive. So what I did is I went on Amazon UK and I found this guy for about 35 British pounds and another sort of £7 for the delivery to Switzerland, but then the price was still cheaper than what I could find in Switzerland. So I decided I will try to use one too in order to optimize all the parts of this computer in it before transferring it to an even better case than the Note 202 for the build that I'm working on. So let's just open the package as it came. So it comes inside this plastic wrap from Amazon, delivered by DHL, and inside we have this box. Not particularly premium looking. Then again, the company actually does sell something very affordable, very cheap, and at a really reasonable price. So I guess packaging will be the place that will suffer the cost. Let's go ahead and open this. So the idea really is that you kind of take all these parts together and then assemble them. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing on camera today for you to see what the build process looks like as well. So let's get right into that. Firstly, as always, the instruction manual. I was told many times that this thing is actually in another language, not in English, but happy to find that this thing is in English now. So let's take a look at this. I would say it's rather clear as to how to build things together, so let's go right ahead and do that. So after a quick deposit of the material on the table, you can see that everything is really well planned out for you guys to find it easily. Inside this frame, we're given some nice gloves so that you don't hurt yourself, I guess. So let's go ahead and put those on too. And inside the box, we also have these kind of cables to sort of power on and off your device, and well, a whole bunch of other things. So that's great. Let's put all that to the side right now. And I guess the gloves are when you're dealing with electricity, so I'll put those to the side too. So there we have it. That's the test bench built without anything on it. So basically this is where the motherboard goes, along with everything that clips onto the motherboard, the memory and the cooler and so on. Here we have the GPU's location. Down here we get to put our power supply unit, and then here you have these brackets to put an SSD or HDD external storage on it. So basically a full computer on this guy. Now, there are many parts in here that I still haven't used because these clip the PC components onto the motherboard. So let's get right into that. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm going to take everything out of the Note 202, flip it up. Let us go ahead and pull this out. Alright, so with the case open, we have to slowly take out the parts. So first thing we want to do is turn this off so that the power supply unit is out. Next thing, obviously, take a protective gear. That will be this. So basically wrap it around your wrist. Okay, so this is basically a bare bones Note 202 with all of the parts that came with the case inside of it. What I'm gonna do now is put this away and we're gonna build on that one. So first thing is first, getting back to the instructions. Okay, so it tells us here to install the power supply unit first and foremost. So that's exactly what we are going to do. What we basically have is this guy, like that, on the drawing, with the power supply unit attached, just like this. Okay, so this is where we run into our first issue of the day, because this test bench is built for a larger power supply unit, and I have an SFX one, so that doesn't fit properly in here. Let's just try it anyway. So this should hold the power supply unit in place, but the problem is that I cannot put a second screw down there because there is the screw hole and it doesn't reach all the way, only that one does, but it holds it in place. So let's go ahead and keep working with this for now. I mean, everything else is adjustable, so it'll be easy to move that around. So obviously, since I couldn't place a second screw here, what I did is fix it at the bottom there so that it doesn't really fall and it just holds in place. All the meanwhile, I can still put my motherboard on top of this. It says the motherboard's IOs should face outwards like that. So that is the closest place where I can put it without any issues. So let's adjust everything accordingly. Okay, so a very long and tiring effort, but this is what my new computer looks like. The idea right now is to learn what this test bench has to offer. So let's not take much more time here. Let's go and see if this thing actually works. All right, so this is what it looks like put on the setup. Only thing I forgot are these buttons here that are also included with the test bench. Basically, it's the switches to turn it on, reset, and so on. All of these can plug right here, so give me 1 second to finish those. So we got it, the computer has boosted. Here's the fan rotating, so it does work, that's great. So right here we've got our GPU attached to the motherboard, and these are sort of the power on and the restart buttons. Over here we have our motherboard right in the middle, GPU connected to it, all the cables coming from the Corsair SF600 power supply unit, connected a bunch of peripherals at the back, but this is what it looks like. And the idea here really is that this is a test bench, and the benefits of a test bench is that if I want to change the graphics card and sort of test a new one, I can. If I want to do the changes on the SF600, I can. And if I want to change certain things on the motherboard, I definitely can. Here I've attached my old HDD drive to it as well, but obviously I'm changing this, so I really don't care that it's sitting right here like that. Normally it hooks onto these ports here. So that's what we have, and here is what the final product looks like. Okay, so what are some of my final takes on this product? It's great. Like I said, I can upgrade anything I want at any point in time without having to take the entire system off. I just have to literally pick that part out, put a whole new one in there. And that is exactly who the test benches are made for. People who want to run quick tests on different parts of the product, or compare them against each other, or see whether one component is compatible with another component. So this is really who it's for. So what are some of the lessons that we learned from this Bewinner test bench? First of all, it's not properly compatible with the SFX power supply unit, so you do have to use a bigger one to use that entire space and have it hooked from one side to another. Secondly, for the external hard drive, you have to find something that works with that. As you saw, my little hard drive does not attach properly to this device, but that doesn't really matter to me because most of my booting system is from the NVMe card that's attached on the motherboard itself. Thirdly, it doesn't work with every single graphics card out there. I mean, here you go. What happens is that you get 2 of these columns, but I only have 1 left because this one kind of interferes in front of where the IOs on the graphic card is. And what happens that either I don't attach the cable or I don't attach this. Now there are some graphics cards that have the IOs kind of down the middle. Those would fit this perfectly, but for me, I had to take one out to keep the other one for holding the graphics card in place. And those are really the 3 points that I kind of took away from this Bewinner ITX Test Bench, which is not the biggest deal out there. And if you are looking for a test bench, it's not the worst idea to go for it. Then again, to own one of these, you have to be a very big PC enthusiast, something that I cannot yet call myself because this does require you having a lot of different components, which I currently do not have in my arsenal. So that's it. Now, let's talk about its value. Is this thing worth 30 to 35 UK pounds? I would say no, because you can turn any ITX old case, any old case, for that matter of fact, into a test bench. You just have to remove one of the panels, side panel, top panel, whatever it is, that gives you quick access into the parts inside without you having to move things around. But it's not the worst price to pay if you are looking for an ITX test bench and you have a lot of different components that you want to test out. For that purpose, it's a great value. So before rush purchasing it like I did, take a second to think about it and really see whether you need it or not. For me personally, I'm just going to run a few tests on the CPU before I'm going to take every part into my next build. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button down below. It helps support this channel. And if you want to stay tuned for the upcoming videos, hit the subscribe button and leave your comments about anything that I might not have answered. So that's it. Take care, everybody. See you in the next one.